all look this way. That's brilliant.
I heard that your favourite local newspaper is the Milton Keynes Citizen, is that right?
It's my favourite local newspaper of all the local newspapers I've come across on my travels. They've done a fantastic job campaigning for the local hospital.
New name and a new era for Milton Keynes Hospital. And do you think it's got the potential to be a world-class teaching centre?
I absolutely do, and I can see when I go around, if you look at the values of the staff, the values of the management, this is a hospital that's really going places, and I'm very impressed with the ambition, with the focus on patients. I've heard a lot about the hospital from Ian Stewart and Mark Lancaster, who campaigned very hard for it in the House of Commons, wanted to see for myself, and I've been really impressed with what I've seen.
The number of patients in last year has doubled, having to wait 4 hours in A&E. What is Jeremy Hunt promising us to make this change?
Well, of course, the one thing we have seen in recent months is this investment in our A&E. So he's seen the expansion. Now that we've had that expansion, we are beginning to see those numbers come down, and that's a positive step. But ultimately, we want to see a common front door, and this is really where the major investment needs to happen. And certainly, I think he's convinced of that argument. So I think the future is very bright.
I think it's important to note that compared to 5 years ago, the hospital is seeing 60,000 more patients within the 4-hour window every single year than it was just 5 years ago, and that's because of more doctors in the hospital, more nurses in the hospital, more investment in the hospital that's happened on the back of a strong economy. And the key thing for the NHS, for every hospital, but particularly for this hospital, is to make sure that we stick with the economic plan that's meant that we are able to put more money into our NHS.
And we're waiting to find out about £178 million of funding from the Department of Health. Can you give us any promises? Can you let us know when that's going to happen?
Well, I can't give you any promises, but all I can say is that the local MPs, Mark Lancaster and Ian Stewart, have made a very, very powerful case for it in the House of Commons, and they have done everything they can to support that case, and we have put more money into the hospital. We have put more money into local GP surgeries through the Prime Minister's Challenge Fund, another £1.8 million, helping surgeries to open in the evenings and weekends. So, I'm very hopeful this hospital has a great future.
The hospital's made huge investments and huge strides forward in the last few months. We've had the official renaming of the hospital, and to have Jeremy Hunt, the Health Secretary, to come up and formally open it, I think is very significant, and is a vote of confidence in the future of the hospital here.
Has he helped to give reassurances that we're going to get £178 million in funding from the Department of Health?
I think it has. I mean, he's been very impressed by the aspirational wishes of Milton Keynes. There's huge excitement here. The hospital's very much on the up with. We've already had an expansion at A&E, the new medical school, cancer centre opening. We've just been looking at plans to develop the whole site to make sure we're fit for purpose for the needs of an expanded population. So yes, I think we've got a very bright future here.
We've not had a Secretary of State visit Milton Keynes for over 10 years, so to get the Health Secretary to come and see for himself some of the challenges that we're facing here on site is great news. I know he's been very impressed as well by the staff, the outstanding that the surgery team got, and also seen that the £3 million investment we've got in the A&E department. But obviously much more needs to be done, and I think with Jeremy coming today, we stand a much better chance in our moves and bids to try and keep this hospital moving forward.
And what about the £178 million we're going to get it?
Well, it won't all be in one big block, but already we're seeing some of that money coming through with the new cancer centre. So we'll see it over the next 18 months come in different blocks and bits and pieces. It's not a single grant, but I'm very confident that we'll get that money, because that's the only way that we can move this hospital forward. It's a hospital built in 1984 for a population half the size, and I think with Jeremy coming here today, he's seen for himself why it's so important. So yes, I'm very confident.